Okay, so here's my take on the Benelli 135. I've owned it since April 20th is when I picked it up. I got about 3,500 miles on it. I've done, although technically you're only supposed to have 2 oil changes at this time, I've already done 2 oil changes, and another 1,000 I'll do another oil change. Anyways, I just like to get a lot of that metal out right away. The first oil change, it did have some metal in it, but that's normal for breaking in. We got gears grinding in and, things wearing in. So that's normal. So if you guys see oil or see oil in your oil, see metal in your oil, don't be alarmed. It's kind of normal. Um, the reason I got this Benelli, I test rode the Grom. I was looking at the Grom and it just didn't have like hardly any power. And from what I was reading, this thing's just got a little more power. It's got just more of everything, and it was cheaper. So it's a no-brainer for me. Although it did have a con that it was vibrating from the reviews that I've seen. And yeah, it does vibrate. But I've gotten over that. So the things I like about this, and the reason I chose it over the Grom was, of course, I had the oil cooler. So I'm thinking longevity. This thing's going to it'll last a long time with the oil cooler. It won't overheat. It's got a 4-valve head, twin spark, 5-speed. I mean, no brainer. Oil changes are easy. Top speed was, well, when it hits rev limiter is about 67 miles an hour. And after the speedometer calibration error of 15% is what I calculated out to be, I'm getting about 85 to 100 miles per gallon depending on how I'm riding. If I ride hard, wide open, it'll go down to about 85. And the fuel tank is 1.9 gallons. So the most I've ever put in was maybe 1.56-ish or something like that. So when the light starts blinking, you pretty much got another half a gallon. And depending on how hard you're riding, half a gallon could get you 50 miles if you take it easy. But generally, I go about on the speedometer. I'll go about 150, 160, and then I'll put gas in it, and it's usually about 1.4, 1.5 gallons. So not a big deal. When I first got it, the thing vibrated like I thought, oh my God, this is crazy. But after the seat broke in, and honestly, after I learned how to ride it, because I was sitting more on my tailbone, and now what I do is kind of arch my back and sit more like in the middle of my legs instead of my tailbone, and it seems to be a lot more comfortable and a lot less vibrating. So it's not bad, really, once you get used to it. I mean, I'm kind of a big guy. I'm about, well, you can see the pictures. I'm not like a skinny 150-pound kid. I'm actually 56 years old, believe it or not. And I got this little mini bike just because I'm retired, sort of, and just looking for something to do. I spent a lot of time with my dog, Teddy, and this was just something for me. There's Teddy, and it gets a little windy. She'll like tuck in. You'll see her. There she goes. And we go ride, we go hike. This is in Balboa Park. She's climbing up some rock stairs in Balboa Park. But we go hiking all over, just any place. If it's not too hot out or whatever, depending on the weather. And San Diego's great weather, so there's plenty of things to do and ride to. So it's like a no-brainer not having a Benelli or any mini bike like this. I own a Harley, a 2000 Heritage Softail, and it's a big bike. That was going up to Palomar. This is Lake Jennings, and this is I don't know Lake Wolford. This is my buddy's KTM Duke. He just picked up a 390, and it's a sweet bike too. It's a little bigger. It's a great bike. It's got so many features on it. But we're talking about the Benelli here, and it's a great bike. I think it's fine for what it is. I mean, it doesn't cost, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and it's not crazy feature rich. And actually, Benelli's not a bad company. And these Chinese, everybody knocks the Chinese build. Honestly, I think the build quality on this thing is fine. And from they've got that new 502C, that new custom, it's a cruiser, it's a parallel twin. I don't know if SSR motors are ever going to bring that to the States, but I know the 300s and the 600s haven't been selling. I don't think they're not like the TNT 135s. Those other ones, I mean, they're there. I don't know if they're really selling a lot, but I'd kind of like to see the 502. I'd like to see some of the other Benelli brands, other Benelli models hit the States. I think it would be pretty cool. Nope, we're riding into the sunset. I've talked too much, and we are done. I hope this helps anybody that's looking for a Benelli. I hope they catch on. I'd like to see